This interview is for information only and should not be considered as investment advice or a recommendation to buy shares in the company featured. Welcome to this Stock Box interview. Joining us today is Paul Johnson, the CEO of Power Metal Resources, following news from their Molopo Farms complex project, which is targeting nickel in Botswana. Now, the RNS states that one of the drill holes, that's K16 from last year's campaign, penetrated the edge of a newly identified magnetic conductor determined by the recent moving loop electromag survey. So hello, Paul. Welcome onto Stockbox. Could you explain a little bit about this previous hole and what this recent survey suggests? And I noticed as well, you've got some pictures, some very nice looking pictures on the website there that we can put up on the screen at the same time.
Okay, Mark, so we need to distill things down. There's lots of information. Power Metal first engaged with this project in mid-2019. Back then, it was 2,700 or so square kilometres of ground in Botswana. And they had a geological model, which we've proven since then through the drilling that was undertaken in 2021. What they did at first is, and with the money that Power Metal injected, was to undertake a helicopter airborne electromagnetic survey. And that identified 17 subsurface targets. And from that, they went ahead with 14 ground-based geophysical surveys, from which they got 8 significant, considerable size and scale anomalies. And that was the focus for the drill testing program that followed up. Now, we couldn't back then with the limited budget do all 8, but we fixed on 3 of those targets. And on the screen, I think we'll have the plan, as it were, which is the diagram of the project license areas and the individual projects by number. And you'll see on that screen that we chose to drill K114, K16 and K111A. And K16 is further southwest from the other 2 targets in the centre of the license area. The results from the drilling that was undertaken in late 2021 were quite significant for us. It's very difficult to find nickel of this type. These are generally deep targets. There isn't the surface expression that you get with many deposits, and you're using a lot of technical capability at surface or above surface to narrow down and find them. In K16 specifically, we found quite a considerable amount of nickel over quite a large set of intersections from about 295 meters down to the end of hole at 598 meters. So the nickel didn't end at that point. It probably carried on. We just stopped the hole at that 600 meters. So that told us when we got the results back with up to 1.7% nickel that something interesting was happening in the area. We had samples sent off for petrological analysis to work out what type of sulfides we were dealing with, and we found the nickel and copper sulfides exactly as we wanted. So great news. The project then needed to move forward, and it didn't really. It went into a bit of stagnation for a period of time whilst we sorted out the ownership structure and next steps. Power Metal recently did a transaction announced in May to acquire a significant amount of the remainder shares it didn't already own in Kalahari Key, the holding co. And the full breakdown is in that announcement, but we will, subject to regulatory approval, go to 87.71%, I think, of the Molopo Farms complex project. So very significant project for us. So it was natural for us to follow up with ground, more specific, more intense, more higher resolution ground-based geophysics, which is what we did over K16 and K114. So 2 of the 3 drill holes. And the results from those surveys have come back in, and they're included in the announcement today. And what you've got is a second image in that announcement link, which I think we're putting on the screen here, is the results from K16. And you will see that if you look at the K16 estimated hole location, which is I think it's an oblong, and marks where K16 went in, you will see it's right at the end of this significant magnetic conductor. It's in a slightly weaker area of the conductor. And then the conductor runs about 800 meters all the way across to the left on the screen. And it's from around 300 meters down, all the way down to, if you look at the far left of the image, it goes down to 1,000 meters. So very, very large conductor. It goes off the screen or off the geophysics print because it only covers a certain area. So we know it's much larger than that. We don't quite know how large. And then what we did is it's okay to say, look, we clipped the edge of the conductor, but it's nice to see it precisely. So we also had a further diagram done, which again, I think is coming on the screen, which breaks down exactly where the drill hole was and shows where the nickel intersections were and gives you something to really see in detail how close we got to that conductor. I mean, without question, we've gone through, intersected, clipped the edge of the conductor. You can see where the nickel grade is, and you can see that we really just have to move left. So much of my exploration life on the big discoveries, it seems to come from very simple things. So if we move left on the diagram and we put some further holes into that very substantial anomaly, what are we looking for? Well, we're looking for a major nickel discovery. We've got evidence of a major conductor. And I know people like to put images up on screen of big conductors under the ground. Big blobs always look great when they're colourful, especially if we colour them in the right way. But in our case, we've got the big blobs. We've got the big conductor there. We've also got evidence, and this is what makes it intriguing, that at the edge of that conductor, it's mineralised with nickel, copper, the right kind of sulfides, exactly what we're looking for, right at the edge. Does that mineralisation get more intense? Do we get higher grade as we go towards the left on the diagram and go into the heart of the conductor? Well, that's what we're postulating. And that's why, because of the size and scale of this, we'll be moving to accelerating that drill program very quickly, because we want to get on with it and we want to see what's below the ground. Does it offer potential for a company transformational event? Much talked about company transformational events. You can work it out for yourself. You know, an intelligent investor without necessarily much geological technical knowledge can look at these charts, images, diagrams that we put on the RNS today and form their own view. Whether people want to get involved now, pre-drill program, or wait to see what happens, is up to them. But I don't think we could have presented this information in a more straightforward fashion.
No, it's very clear there, looking at the diagram, where the drill went and where the anomaly is. And you make it sound so simple, just drill slightly to the left. Hopefully it is as simple as that. But I guess with all the exploration that's done through mining companies, it's all about narrowing down and refining targets. And hopefully, finding that company transformational deposit that hopefully is there. And you've already said that you've selected a Botswana company to do the next round of drilling, and site visits are planned, I believe, for this week. So, I mean, how quickly will you plan and target for this next round of drilling? Well, but whilst at the same time remaining objective to minimize risk and, of course, maximize the potential opportunity?
Well, I can tell you I think we put in the announcement that we're very excited. I hate using terms like that. We're very excited. When the imagery came in, it made sense first, because you don't get that kind of mineralization in a hole. And that was 295 meters down to 598. We didn't test it all. I say tested all. We tested blocks of it from visual inspection and other things. It's a very large amount of nickel mineralization. So it's come from somewhere. Something is causing it. So we knew there was something going on. We didn't know that we could pinpoint what that was necessarily, which is why you do the work. And now we face this rare situation where we've got a very large magnetic conductor, but we also have, which most companies don't have, is a drill hole that's gone through the edge of it, confirming the mineralization. So when will we get on site? I can't quote specifics at the moment. We're still working on it. It will be as soon as possible. We're not going to hold back. Okay. We know the magnitude of what this may mean for the company if we're successful, the significance of this type of thing. We know it's rare. Normally you miss these things. If you do hit the conductors, there's often many other reasons why they're giving off that signal, and it can be quite frustrating. And in this case, we just have that unusual situation where we've tested the very part of it, the very edge, and we've got significant nickel mineralization and nickel copper. So, we're of course looking forward to this program. As one of our advisors said, well, this is going to be an interesting drill program, isn't it? And it certainly will be. So we'll be nervous. We'll be wanting to get on with it. And we have to calm ourselves down. We have to focus. And we have to get on with the administrative tasks to get ahead and do the drilling. We don't see any major impediments to getting on with this quickly and efficiently, but you never know until you get the drill rolling out to site. And then, hopefully the program itself, it's quite a decent program. It's 2,600 meters at the moment, approximately over 6 holes. That's the plan as we put in the RNS, and that may change. The first hole in will be interesting to see the core coming out, and that may change the approach that we take. But it's nice to be involved in this. It's what we always said we wanted to do, to find large-scale nickel discoveries. We wanted to work through this summer season so we didn't miss a window of opportunity. We've done that. And I do think if you're prepared to commit and have a real crack at this, notwithstanding all of the negativity in the markets today, you can put your shareholders in a position of a possible major transformational event, which is where we are now.
Okay, good. And as you say, it is important to remain objective and not get too excited at this point, and contain that excitement. But there is no doubt it is an exciting time in a mining exploration company's journey when this kind of thing is happening. Will you be able to share plans of the next drilling campaign with the market in the near term?
Oh yeah, we're going to share everything we can. But there'll be further updates on the drilling. There'll be images from site when it happens. There's going to be quite a bit of activity going on, so we need to relay that. Put this into context, Mark. We're in an environment where nickel is desperately sought by the world in general, by the majors that produce it. They are hunting for pipeline opportunities, and for us to have such an exciting nickel opportunity at this time is a massive game changer for us. It's perfectly timed, not just from and if you look at it from a geological perspective, it looks very exciting. There's not one person that has, seen this information that's come back other than extremely positively. Okay, so we're doing the right things. But if we're successful with this, we couldn't be better timed with regard to finding a major nickel discovery. So for our business, it is a matter of getting on with the day-to-day kind of admin. We are particularly buoyed. We are very excited by it. And that excitement, I hope it actually delivers what we want, as an outcome for ourselves as a business and for our shareholders. But they will be part of the story. They will see into this program. They will share it with us along the way, and let's just see what happens.
Indeed, let's see what happens. Well, thank you very much, Paul Johnson, the CEO of Power Metal Resources. We'll be sure to be following the developments at Molopo Farms Complex very closely in the coming months. Thank you for your time today.
Thanks, Mark.
If you enjoyed this interview, then give us a thumbs up, a like or a retweet. Subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Twitter and hit that notification bell to be the first to know when we release new content. There's loads of great content on our website too, across all our programs at stopboxmedia.com. Thank you for watching.